All right, let's just get right into it. This is a scenario that comes from our absolute deepest, darkest nightmares, right? But believe it or not, knowing what to do can be the difference between just pure terror and a calculated escape. So we're going to break down the actual practical steps you would need to take to survive the unthinkable. So picture this. You wake up, it's pitch black. The air is thick and stale, and you can't move more than an inch in any direction. And then that horrifying realization just washes over you. Your first instinct is going to be a tidal wave of pure panic. But this is the first and honestly the most important battle you have to win.
So, the very first rule, the most critical one, is also the one that goes against every single survival instinct you have. Do not scream. Everything inside you is going to want to let out a primal yell, but it is literally the worst possible thing you can do. Your survival starts with resisting that urge.
See, your real prison isn't just the box you're in. It's the panic exploding in your mind. When you scream and struggle, you start to hyperventilate, and that just burns through your very limited supply of oxygen at a terrifying speed. It also wastes physical energy you're definitely going to need later. And, this is key, it makes it impossible to think clearly enough to actually get yourself out.
Okay, so you've wrestled that initial wave of panic down. You're focusing on your breathing. Now the next phase begins. Before you make a single move, you have to play detective. You've got to gather information and figure out what kind of situation you're really in.
This is the big one. This is the question that's going to dictate every single thing you do from here on out. There's a clock ticking, and it's not measured in minutes, but in breaths. So really, how much breathable air are we talking about inside a coffin?
Well, the numbers vary a bit, but realistically, you're probably looking at a window of about 1 to maybe 5.5 hours of air, and that is not a lot of time. This is exactly why staying calm and conserving every bit of oxygen is priority number 1. That number makes the threat real, and it makes your strategy absolutely critical. Now here's the thing, not all coffins are created equal. You gotta feel around. Are you in a simple, cheaper pine box? If so, that's good news and bad news. It's way easier to break, but it's not airtight, so soil's gonna pour in fast. Or are you in a modern, sealed casket? That might give you more air to breathe, but man, those things are built like tanks. They are incredibly difficult, maybe even impossible to break out of. Your entire strategy has to change based on what you're in.
Okay, so you've got a handle on your panic, and you've assessed your prison. Now it's time for the main event, the escape plan. And I want you to remember this is a methodical process. This is about strategy, not about brute strength.
I really love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head for this scenario. Trying to just Hulk smash your way out is a surefire way to get exhausted and run out of air. Success here is all about your ability to think clearly and act with purpose. So here it is. This is the 5-step playbook to freedom. We're going to go through each one, but just look at how they create a logical path, from protecting yourself to breaking out to actually moving toward the surface. Step 1 is simple, but it is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to protect your airway. Think about it. The second that lid cracks, dirt is going to start falling in. If you inhale that soil, it's game over. You'll suffocate instantly. So rip a piece of your shirt, pull it up over your nose and mouth. That's your makeshift dust mask.
All right, now it's time to break out. Don't waste your energy trying to punch upwards. You just don't have the leverage. If you can, bring your knees up to your chest and start kicking up with your feet. Aim for the center of the lid. That's going to be its weakest point. Just keep striking it over and over. Conserve your energy between kicks. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, now this is probably the most counterintuitive part of the whole plan. Once you've got a crack, you need to let the dirt in. Yep, you heard me. As it pours onto your chest, your job is to immediately push it down toward your feet. What you're doing is filling the coffin from the bottom up. By packing that dirt down below you, you're actually lifting yourself up, creating space above you.
So once you've filled up enough of the coffin that you're near the top, you can start the final climb. The soil right above where you were buried is now loose because you've displaced it. You want to use a slow, kind of swimming or wriggling motion to work your way up. Again, slow and steady is the name of the game. If you start panicking and flailing, you're just going to get stuck.
You can feel it now. The soil's getting looser. Maybe you can even see a faint change in the darkness. This is it. This is the final push. The moment you go from that world of complete darkness and pressure to the open air.
That first breath of fresh air is going to feel incredible. But your fight isn't totally over. You are going to be completely wiped out, dehydrated, and super disoriented. The most important thing is to get your airway totally clear and then just rest for a minute before you even think about trying to find help.
So now that we've walked through the how, let's just take a breath and step back for a second. It's really important to ground this terrifying thought experiment in a little bit of reality.
And here is the single most important takeaway. Our perceived risk of this happening, our fear of being buried alive, it's huge. It's a primal, universal fear. But the number of actual, verified modern cases of this happening, it is almost zero. Thanks to modern medicine and embalming, it's just not something that really happens anymore. So knowing how to survive is a powerful tool, but so is knowing you will almost certainly never, ever have to use it.
And that kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. We've just armed you with the knowledge to beat the coffin. But can that same knowledge help you beat the fear itself? Because sometimes just understanding the threat, even one this remote, is the very first step to taking away its power over you.